Welcome back to Key Point here on TV3. We're also live on 3FM 92.7. For the second time, the NDC flag bearer has decided to retain Professor Naana Opoku-Agyemang as the running mate going into election 2024 after their first fight together in 2020. Take a look at attempt. Well, yes, they fought and the outcome was there. So this is the General Secretary of the NDC, Fifi Kwete, earlier in the week. Take a look.
And he communicated to us that he was very much satisfied with the running mate that he went into battle with in the year 2020. And therefore, the nomination, the name for the running mate, as you know already, is Professor Naana Opoku-Agyemang. She will be the running mate for the NDC come December 7, 2024.
Well, she's not new to this position as running mate to the NDC's flag bearer, John Mahama. I recall that in a run-up to the 2020 elections, when she was first selected, someone like Kudatua Blakwa, who worked with her as Deputy Minister of Education, listed, 41 achievements that she was able to clock for herself as Minister of Education. Parts of this were also contested by the NPP at the time, I recall. But let me start off with this on you, on this choice. Does it send shivers down your spine?
Oh, first and foremost, let me congratulate Prof for her nomination and selection. I want to correct one, impression.
Forgive me.
Say she was selected by the flag bearer. I don't think that is the situation. Under no circumstance can you alone, a flag bearer, select your running mate. Mm-hmm. It goes through a process, and it's a process that delivers the candidate. And I want to commend the party generally for the smooth process that generated Professor Naana Jane. And I also want to wish her well for the fact that she carries with her, traits of academia into the center of decision making, which is good. And I think we have to also practicalize some of the policies we develop in the academic areas, so that academia will also make impression in our national lives. So congratulations to her, and particularly the consensus building, which has been the process of generating a running mate. And I want my party to also learn from that process and see if we can, put our heads together and find the best fit to, I am not interested in the regional argument. I'm not interested at all. That somebody must come from here, come from there. I'm not interested.
It's one that you cannot also ignore.
No.
It's part of the considerations.
At the person who
you're not interested, but
who will bring,
really?
Yes, this is my position.
Okay.
Who will bring votes to the ticket? And you look beyond the voting and see the person who would be relevant in administration of the country post the election. So it is not only about me coming from one region or the other. No, you look at the whole range and see. It's good if you can balance. But for me in Ghana, it's the north-south, situation. Somebody from north, somebody from south. At least that brings the country together.
Right.
But if you go beyond the north-south and say he must be western, eastern, that one I don't like. So let us see that somebody comes from north with a northern orientation. Let somebody come and complement with a southern orientation. Beyond that, the person's capabilities. What has he achieved in life? What has she or he done in the past? What her background or his background? Does it support your own? Because you are going to complement one person who has already been selected. So if you select somebody who is strong in law, you need somebody who is strong probably in economics, so that at least in your field you'll be able to bring something to bear on decision making. Again, the nature of our parliament now, you need somebody who will also particularly if you are not somebody who is related to your parliament. You need somebody who can also bring parliament closer to the executive, because a hung parliament like we have, it will be difficult if you don't have your parliament behind you, whoever you are as president. So the person or persons who could bring you closer to your parliament in decision making and policy implementation is necessary. Again, you need resources into running the campaign. You need somebody who will be able to also support you somehow, or be able to relate to a source of funding to be able to, iron out or oil the vehicle to victory. These days we are very concerned with religion, and religious voting is also the order of the day in Ghana right now. So you are looking at who are you bringing? The person, is he or she connected to a grouping which is already made, like Christianity, Islam, and the like. So who is best fit to complement you religious-wise?
Right.
You look at all those things. But above all, who is most adored by society, community, Ghanaians? And in these days, we are looking at politicians, we are saying, we must come into office with a certain degree of integrity so that we will not experience that which we are complaining about. If we are complaining about all these things and you bring up me who is neck deep in the same thing, then it means you have lost the fight already. So bring somebody who has a certain degree of integrity, and the people know that this man will not countenance this behavior. Indeed, management is working with and through people. So the people you work with and through whom you work must be able to also withstand certain characteristics that are untoward to leadership. So, Prof, I have seen her in academia in the past as a student leader. We engage her, and we engage her also in the Ministry of Education. So I think this is an elevation, and repeating it means that they were satisfied with his performance in 2020, particularly winning Central Region. I think that MPP should also learn from it and pick a candidate who will give a good run for her money, because the more we compete amongst ourselves, the better we bring out the good persons in leadership.
Certainly.
And again, we are going to mark them even as they walk the distances to the run-up to the election.
Right.
And what they do between now and December also will create an impression on all of us as to who to vote for.
Indeed.
MPP, my people, they have selected Professor Agyemang. She is bringing something to the ticket.
Expertise.
So I expect MPP to do same. And let us not be fighting over one position, because at the end of the day, it is one person who occupied. We all have to lend our support to that person.
Great.
So that the ticket will be winnable.
I'm bringing the Honorable Kojo Ablako. You work closely with her. In fact, no, I'll give you the last word on this matter.
Yes, Alfred. I know Prof. Naana Opoku-Agyemang very well. Very well. She taught me at the University of Cape Coast.
I see.
So I know her very well. We met at Ofuswampo for his mother's funeral in Koforidia, and we hugged and talked a lot about. I know her humility. She's very humble. She's a scholar. She wants to bring people, raise people up and raise co-leaders. That's what she wants to do. I think that 2 months before this, I had said it on many platforms, it was circulating everywhere, that it is too late to change her. Because the most expensive commodity in our world is choice. That is why even God, who created us, do not interfere in our choices. So God allows you to make the choice so that he can judge you on those choices. So I think that every leader, not that I think, but I know, that a leader's choice reflects on his judgment about your capabilities. And if the president has seen her deemed fit that she can handle the position, of course, the time has arrived for us to get a woman, in fact, because I believe women will rule the world. Now, the world women population is over 53%. So we have more women than men. If you come to America now, at the graduate school, we have 65% of the population will be women. So I keep telling them that very soon we will have the men changing diapers and the women will have the bigger jobs. So the men are staying home, the women are picking the bigger jobs and doing it. So we need to do that. But my last advice to Madam Jane, that I call her, that she will have to do more to help GM, John Mahama, in this election, because I want to see her going to the marketplace. I want to see her interacting with the women, because women like to see that you are part of them. Our problem as professors is that people think you are here and they cannot relate to you. But when you get closer to us, we are really down to earth.
Indeed.
You know, so she should do more to help Honorable His Excellency John Dramani Mahama for the election. But coming to MPP too, we know that Bawumia is going to select his candidate. We've heard in the news that many people have been promised, and that is not what I'm interested in. But like Andy said, we need somebody who has the expertise and the competence to help this country move forward. For me, I don't care the party somebody belongs to. Once the roads are good, once the hospitals are good, once the schools are good, Ghana as a whole, I'm a Ghanaian. I don't believe in tribes or anything. Your tribe is not better than any other tribe.
Right.
We are all Ghanaians. We travel with Ghana passport. What we need is to come together. We should not allow politicians to divide us. And this year I have to say that nobody, no political party is worth a drop of somebody's blood in our elections. Let's have peaceful elections so that we can elect the leaders we want. Because if you elect the wrong leaders, they are going to hang on your neck as bad leaders for the next 4 years, and the country will progress. Let's pick, because the choice is ours. Let's pick the kind of leaders who will progress this country forward.
And that's why the consensus that appears to be growing at the IPAC level between the Electoral Commission and the various stakeholders is one that indeed it needs to be commended as well. And that's what happened within the week, you know. That let's go into Prof. Naana Opoku-Agyemang. And you worked with her. You know her better than all of us on the table. What is going to be done differently this time around to as it were, bring you the votes or inch her impact up? Because it's not the first time you are bringing this ticket to the Ghanaian people.
Or bring us big.
Yes.
Well,
Yes.
so let me congratulate my mother, as I call her, Professor Naana Opoku-Agyemang. She continues to make all of us proud, those of us who have had the privilege to be mentored by her. You can imagine when I was appointed her deputy, and coming from the background of student leadership, NUC's president, you are always, you know, having agitations against vice chancellors and trying to get them to understand your perspective. You think that they live in an ivory tower and they look down on you as students and all of that. I was wondering how the chemistry was going to be, but it turned out, as Prof has said, that, you know, she's very, very, very down to earth, very humble, very modest, very affable. I mean, we had such a fantastic working relationship, and you know, she doesn't look down on anybody at all. She respects everybody, regardless of age, you know, status, wherever you come from. What matters is that let's get the work done. These are our targets. Let's meet the targets. And very quietly, you know, she's not one of those who wants to really brag about her achievements, you know, and talk about what has been done. She just wants the results to speak for itself. And really, I think that if you go out there and you talk to the average Ghanaian, what they are looking for in leaders, integrity. They don't want leaders who will come and take things for themselves. Come and increase the national pie and share it equitably so everybody will have a fair share. They want leaders who respect the people, leaders who will not be condescending, who will not be arrogant, who will not think that they know it all, but appreciate that knowledge cannot be in one head, and that no matter how young or how, if you like, unlettered you may be classified, you also have a contribution to make, and you are needed in this national reconstruction. If you talk to Ghanaians out there, they want a leader who is incorruptible. Check her career. Right from being a lecturer all the way to the first female vice chancellor of a public university to being Minister of Education. No adverse finding against her. No negative audit report. No scandal. She's squeaky clean. Even all the way to her international appointments, when she served at UNESCO 2 terms on the board, as Chancellor of the Africa Women's University in Zimbabwe, as head of FAWE in Kenya.
Yes.
No single, no iota, no scintilla of any scandal. She is just impeccably, you know, clean when it comes to making sure that the little resources she's given, she manages it to produce results. And look all around you, the e-blocks, the conversion of the polytechnics to technical universities, the upgrade of the teacher training institutions to colleges of education. You know, she just delivers. The 10 technical institutes she constructed at the time, one in every region, when we had 10 regions. You look at how she was quite innovative, introducing the private BEC. Before she became Minister of Education, you can only write one BEC and that's it. You fail, you are doomed. No opportunity to progress. She addressed that anomaly. Look at the vision to establish public universities in every region. At the time, we didn't have a university in the Volta region. She worked to operationalize the University of Health and Allied Sciences, then the University of Environment and Sustainable Development in the Eastern region. Still at the tertiary front, many people do not know that she negotiated and really worked hard to establish WACIP, the West Africa Center for cell biology and infectious pathogens. They were very influential when it came to COVID, you know, helping us to manage the pandemic. So she has really served our country well, and she makes history once again, being the first female to be nominated, and it was an overwhelming endorsement from the Council of Elders all the way to the NEC. And if you have observed, the NDC for a long time has had a certain, you know, history of changing running mates from, you know, Akkad to Atamils to Amidu, Mumuni, then Mahama. To win the confidence of everybody and be retained, it's not happening in a long time, you know, and it tells you that her humility, her affability, her work rate. I mean, people were surprised when they saw her in the last electioneering campaign at 1 a.m., 2 a.m., 3 a.m. still campaigning. Her energy, you know, and I think that she breaks all those myths that people have that, oh, you don't really send a woman to such a battlefield, all of those, you know, really terrible, you know, perceptions that people have that, you know, they can't work as hard as men and all of those things. I think that as we celebrated International Women's Day yesterday, this news is so refreshing, and it shows that President Mahama believes in inclusivity. He believes in the gender movement, in allowing women, who are the majority of our population, to have a seat at the table and also to drive policy. I think that what she brings on board in terms of our political fortunes, if you look at the numbers in 2020, her introduction helped. It increased the NDC seats in the central region from 4 to 13 seats. And then you also look at the presidential votes, it was halved. Even though we didn't win the presidential, but the margin was significantly reduced. And this is the first time a political party in opposition is able to increase its parliamentary votes in a second term. If you check the numbers, it's always been the case that the ruling party increases their parliamentary majority. But this is the first time that, so you can see that the ticket, the John and Jane ticket, has been a formidable one.
But it's not going to be the first time you're presenting
really
this.
Deliver the
so
victory.
How different will this be? Quickly on that.
So we all improve, we all draw lessons from the past. I expect that she will spend more time engaging with people. As Prof has said, already there's that perception when you're a professor, a vice chancellor, that you are probably a bit, you know, removed from the grassroots. So we are going to see her do more of those grassroots engagements. We are also going to see her talk to her constituency more, academia, the professionals. She's going to reach out to women's groups, and she's going to, you know, have a common platform and carry their issues. These are groups that have, you know, tremendous concerns, and they are very, you know, analytical. So you need somebody who can relate with them at that level. And as Honorable Andy Appiah-Kubi said, look, for a long time, our politics has been about talkativeness and not doing. So she comes in, she's not one who is, used to that, political razzmatazz and all the platform jargons and all of that. She's coming in with her academic background to help shape the president's vision and to implement and execute the mandate that the Ghanaian people will afford her. And I think that for those who are concerned that, look, a convention has emerged where vice presidents become head of economic management team. What is economic management? Economic management really is about how you equitably share resources so all of us can benefit.
So she can do that job.
It's about looking out for our welfare. Anybody who runs a university, who is chancellor of another university in another country, and is able to, raise funds, mobilize resources, grants and all of that, and distributes it, constructs more facilities. It was at UCC that she even expanded, brought in the medical school, and brought in UCC was able to now have its own factory for water, for even glass production and all of that. That is, a university economy.
How do you answer those as well who say that?
So it's really at the end of the day how you manage the resources, make sure that everybody gets their fair share, prioritize. If it's hospitals we need, if it's equipment we need, let's have it. Let's not have a situation where you go to Komfo-Anokye and they are complaining that they have only 1.5 dialysis machines.
Right.
You go to 37, they don't have their MRI functioning. It's all about priorities, so that you need a modest leader who is not thinking about self-aggrandizement.
Okay.
But how do we make sure that these taxes we have collected, we prioritize, invest them in the right places so that the quality of life of people will improve? And I think that that's what Prof will be bringing to the table.
And then the issue of succession as well, you address that as a party.
Yes, yes, I keep hearing that concern, and that's why some people thought that President Mahama should have gone for a younger person. Maybe like but yourself. You see, what use will it be to a younger person if the NDC comes to power and disappoints?
Okay.
So my response to that is that let's come to power, fulfill the people's expectations, meet their demands, their legitimate demands, do very well. And it wouldn't matter who you are, whether you are vice president or minister or just a member of the NDC, you will have a fair chance at winning. If we come to power and we don't do well, whether you're a young running mate, you will stand no chance. So that's how I look at these things.
Samuel Okudzeto-Ablakwa worked with Professor Naana Opoku-Agyemang as Deputy Education Minister, and then also Member of Parliament for the North Town constituency. Is the deputy, in fact, is a ranking on the Foreign Affairs Committee of Parliament. One person who's led this whole charge to help resettle his people in Mepe and beyond. And I got a lot of messages in that regard congratulating your efforts. So I think it's good that I put it all together and congratulate you as well. Professor Enoch,
even when I made a contribution.
Yes, he did. He did make a contribution. That's true. On this platform. Yes, I think about some substantial amount of money.
Academic City also made donations.
Yes, Professor Enoch, I appreciate you, and I thank you so much. Yes, Professor Enoch, and I recall that day on this same platform, the Honorable and the IPAC made that very, very gracious donation. Thank you so much. He's the Member of Parliament for the Asante-Akyem North constituency. On behalf of the rest of the team, I want to say thank you very much for staying with us here on Key Point. Join us same time next week. Have a great weekend.